Everybody to the Ordinary Council meeting dated the 17th of September 2025. I declare this meeting open at 10 o'clock and I would like to advise all attendees that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. And thank you for that dead silence, uncomfortable moment before we started. I would like to introduce the students from one of my favourite schools, Emmaus College, so where Jake Whittaker's from Jimboomba to do the Welcome to Country.
As we gather here today, let us have a sense of the importance of the country upon which we are standing, where learning and ceremony have taken place over many thousands of years.
Let us sense the land beneath our feet and acknowledge the traditional custodians to whom this land belongs, the Mununjali clan of the Yugambeh people, and pay our respects to their elders and all elders, past, present and future, for we are two, one in land, one in spirit, and one in faith, united in God's love.
Thank you very much. I would like now to introduce Pastor Marie Shell Scott from the Impact Church to open with a meeting with a reflection of faith. It's up to you. It's your show. If you'd like us to stand or stay seated, it's up to you.
Whatever you feel like.
Or stand, eh?
I know I have to do this. Good morning to you all. My name is Marichelle Scott and I'm the lead pastor at Impact Church in Slacks Creek, a non-denominational church in Division 3 in Councillor Mindy Russell's area. I want to thank you, Councillor Scott Bannon, for the kind invitation and the opportunity to speak today. I also want to acknowledge and thank our Mayor, John Raven, who's not with us today, and our esteemed councillors for your leadership and commitment to serve in our city. It is an honour and privilege for me to share a reflection of faith in today's council meeting. My thoughts and reflection comes from the Bible. In the New Living Translation, Proverbs 4, chapter 7 says this: "Getting wisdom is the wisest thing you do, and whatever else you do, develop good judgment." In James chapter 1, verse 5 tells us this: "If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking." These verses remind us that wisdom is not just an optional quality. It is the wisest thing you can pursue. Leadership is not just about knowledge, experiences, or resources, though all of those are important. True leadership requires wisdom. This is the ability to discern what is right, what is just, and what will serve the community well, not only for today, but for the future. You see, knowledge informs us, experiences shapes us, but knowledge and wisdom guides us. While not everyone here may share the same faith, we can all agree with this. Wisdom is not just for the select few or for the elite, nor it is locked behind titles, beliefs, or positions. Wisdom is a gift available to anyone who seeks it, to those who are humble enough to ask, listen, and learn from it. And here's the reflection I want to leave with you today as leaders in our city, in our community. What if the reason you are here in this seat, in this council, at this time in history, is not only because of your skills, your experiences, your passions or visions, but because God has positioned you here to lead with his wisdom. For such a time as this, wisdom is his plan for you, and that wisdom will not only bless today's generation, but for the generation to come. My question for you is this: are you leading only with what you know, or are you seeking a wisdom that helps you see further, lead better, and build what will last? Because knowledge manages today, but wisdom builds tomorrow. Think of it like this. Wisdom is the steering wheel of a car. You may have a powerful engine, a full tank of fuel, and even a clear road ahead of you. But without the steering wheel, all that strength and speed won't take you where you need to go. In the same way, your policies, your budgets, your resources, visions, good planning, and ideas and programs are important, but without wisdom as the foundation, they won't endure the test of time. Wisdom is what steadies and strengthens everything else and ensures you arrive at the right destination for the people you serve. The good news is this: wisdom is not beyond our reach. The Bible teaches us that if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will gladly give it to you without finding fault. You know, we are commanded to pray for those leaders and for those who lead and govern in authority. So as a church, know that we pray for each and every one of you. We are grateful and thankful for what each and every one of you bring at the table to strengthen and to lead our city. We celebrate and cheer you on. As a faith leader in this community, it's been a privilege to work with some of you, and I pray that we continue to walk and work together. It is also our prayer that you not only lead with what you know, but will seek wisdom, because wisdom is always worth seeking. I will pray now, and if you wish to do so, you may close your eyes. Father, we thank you for every leader here and for the privilege they have to serve in this city and community. We believe you have placed them here for such a time as this. So today we ask, as the Bible teaches, that you would give them wisdom generously and abundantly. Wisdom to see beyond the present, to weigh what is just and fair, to act with courage and compassion, and to lead with humility, integrity, and foresight. May this council be marked not only by knowledge, but by wisdom that comes from you, wisdom that builds a stronger future together. And for every person in this community, we ask this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. If you're wondering what is Division 3 representing Division 9 today, it's because I'm fortunate enough to have the Impact crew running the Caddies facility for me and doing an incredible job there with mental health and helping the community. So thank you so much for what you've done to activate that building. I know you guys can stay for the whole meeting if you like, but understand if you're busy and you need to take off, we won't judge you. God might, but we won't judge you. We'll start with attendance and leave of absence. I know that Mayor Raven and Councillor Fraser have requested a leave of absence for today's meeting. We'll start with the Mayor. Is there a mover for the motion that's now displayed on the screen? Councillor Steppers moves, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Do any councillors wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I open the floor to vote. That has been carried with the exception of Councillor Bradley. Councillor Bradley, how do you vote, please?
I wish to abstain, and I wish to give a reason, if I may. I believe the Mayor should be present whilst many in the community are feeling this is a crisis moment.
Thank you, that's been noted. The motion has been carried. We'll now address Councillor Fraser and his request for a leave of absence. Is there a mover for the motion on the board? Councillor Jackson, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? There being none, open the floor to vote. That has been carried, thank you. We now move to condolences. Do any councillors wish to raise a condolence? We'll start with Councillor Lane, you're up.
Thanks, Acting Mayor. I'd like to express condolences to Bernard Bernie Lopez, a local resident whose wife Annie passed away. Bernie and Annie were married for 57 years. They were an amazing powerhouse couple. He ran the Philatelic Society in Logan, and together as a couple, they worked hard to save the Kingston Butter Factory from annihilation, amassing 22,000 signatures as part of a petition to council many, many years ago. Bernie said the moment he saw her, he knew she was going to be his wife, and 57 years later, they celebrated their anniversary and she passed away not long after. So there's a card in the Mayor's office for signing, and hopefully that gets sent off soon.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. I'm positive that will happen. Going around. Nobody else? Thank you, councillors. We'll now observe a moment of reflection in honour of those who have gone before us and in support of those who have left behind. Please stand if you're able to join me. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to congratulations. I now open the floor for congratulation requests. Do any councillors have congratulations? Starting with Councillor Bradley. No. Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Acting Mayor. There's a number of congratulations that I'd like to express today. Number one is Logan City Council. Congratulations. Margaretta and her team, I believe, will be getting an award presented to them later on this morning. Councillor Wilcox and I were fortunate enough to attend the Queensland Reconstruction Authority Awards, which Logan City Council was a recipient of one of the awards, and I think it's down to the hard work of staff and the disaster management team that council in fact got that award, so I want to say congratulations to them. We now progress to the National Resilient Australia Awards, and it's an exciting opportunity to showcase Logan's leadership and community resilience on a national stage, because let's face it, we are the best. The Logan Artists Association celebrated 20 years, and Councillor Hall's group is the most amazing, welcoming, wonderful bunch of ladies who are so enthusiastic about what they do, and I'm forever grateful that they invite me to things in Councillor Hall's area. So I want to do a big shout out. I know that you're a huge supporter of theirs, Councillor Hall, and that their growth is really contingent upon you making sure that they've got what they need to grow. So I'm really grateful for that. Logan Metro Football Club, the Mini Roos Trophy Day happened. Hilda from Lernercraft turned 96, and Margaret Milligan, a lady that I knew growing up, has turned 80. We had Hilda, Naomi and the Creative Industries team did Victory in the Pacific. It was a special celebration at Mays Cottage. The 40 Plus Club Paint and Sip Father's Day morning tea was awesome, and Councillor Jackson, what a group you've got in your area. They are cheeky and sassy and naughty and fabulous. SSI World of Cultures at KBF occurred. The Springwood Tri-Services Luncheon on the 31st of August. APNA, the Australian Pakistani National Association Multi-Faith Conference, where people of different faiths came together to have a very frank conversation about women in faith, and Woodridge State High School's Culture Fest. And yesterday I got to attend the Logan City Garden Club, and oh my goodness, what a wonderful bunch of ladies and gents, and they just come together in friendship. The smiles, just the joy on their faces was fabulous. We live in a wonderful city, and I'm so proud to highlight some of these for congratulations.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Staged. Councillor Hall.
Councillor Lane stole my thunder a little bit there. Yes, I'd just like to congratulate Logan Artists Association on a successful 20 years. They've come a long way from where they were. It started from a bit of a shed, and it's a lot thanks to a man that's behind me, Councillor Graham Abel, who later became Mayor Graham Abel. I was very thankful to actually have the opportunity, first time in my career, to actually meet Graham. And Councillor Mindy Russell is there with me. Is a fantastic fellow. Had a lot to say. I think I'm going to have a sit down with him because he had a lot of advice for me, and very knowledgeable on what he was doing as well. So kudos to him for helping the Logan Artists Association from the beginning, and thankfully we've been able to get to where they are. Di and her team just do an amazing job there, and it's just growing from stride to stride to stride, and I'm always happy to help the arts in Logan as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I think Nikki thought you were pointing at him then. He probably got a little bit nervous. Councillor Meyer, Councillor Stemp.
Thank you, Mr Acting Mayor. I'd like to ask congratulations please be forwarded to the Bendigo Bank Logan Thunder women's team who were crowned NBL 1 North champions last month. Such an amazing finals weekend with the Logan Thunder women winning the NBL 1 North Championship 78-76 over the Southern District Spartans in a hard-fought and nail-biting final decider. After losing the first game by 18 points and making a big comeback in the second game, winning 89-60. So much energy and community spirit from the Thunder family cheering them on with an army of supporters at every game, chanting the word Logan and other cheers, creating an incredible atmosphere and basically meaning that the other team supporters really couldn't make much noise at all. I'd like to congratulate all the players, coaches, support staff and their families on a fantastic season and grand final win. I'd also like to congratulate Mitch, Nicole, Greg and all other staff and volunteers, sponsors and supporters for all your hard work and support throughout the season. It's worth mentioning too that team captain Michaela Can played her 150th senior representative game for the association on that Friday night, which is an amazing achievement. I'm so proud of everything the girls have achieved this season. With so much talent in the team, I can't wait to see them in action again next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Councillor Lane for mentioning Margaretta and the team. I do wish them congratulations and all the best for their national award. It was a pleasure to have them out. In my local high school in Flagstone State Community College, the kids loved the project. I loved the project. I was really heavily involved in it, gave them lots of pointers, told them how to bribe the children. Sorry, wrong word, but how to get them to engage in the program and that sort of thing. So the kids did love it. So thank you very much and congratulations. But I do have a couple of others. I do have a really big congratulations, and I've sent this through to the girls already. Congratulations to Carol from Gumnut House. She has been there for 20 years and she's just celebrated her 20 years of service with Gumnut House, which is before and after school care at Greenbank State School. She had both of my girls there. She's taken lots of kids through. So huge congratulations to Carol, and also to Emily Jane, who I actually taught at high school in childcare. She went into childcare with my daughters. Then she actually went to Gumnut House as well. So she's actually just celebrated 10 years at Gumnut House as well. So congratulations to both of you. It was really well deserved and such a pleasure. I do have a couple of others as well. I recently attended a Chappie dinner at Parkridge State High with Councillor Fraser as well. Chappies from all over the West were there and attended, and it was an amazing night. It really was. We had dinner there, and it was provided by the hospitality students at Parkridge State High, and my goodness, it was phenomenal. It was so delicious. It was amazing. I would have happily paid for that in a restaurant, what they gave us for dinner. It was amazing. So big thanks to everyone that organised that. Congratulations to Taj Sorensen. Now, I said congratulations to him before. He's from Greenbank. He was selected in the under-17 Australian football team, soccer. He's the only Queenslander who was selected, and he's just turned 16. I believe he is currently playing in Japan, or he's just about to come back. So congratulations. I can't wait to hear how he went when he comes back. He's one to watch on the soccer front, because he's made a couple of different teams, but that was the first one he could make in that team. And congratulations, or actually rather a good luck, to Cameron Newton-Smith from Greenbank State School originally. She competed in the Olympics last year. She's currently competing in Tokyo at the World Athletics Champs. I don't think she's competed just yet, so hopefully next month I come back and hopefully she would have medalled and I can have some good news. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you so much. We're all a very busy area at the moment, and that time of year where we're heating up. So I've got 5 to do today. So first off is Beenleigh High School for their Paddock to Plate event. It was an amazing event at the Beenleigh High School, showcased the talent and the teamwork. The students did an amazing job entertaining and serving us all with some amazing food. It's their showcase from Paddock to Plate with their agricultural students. Huge thank you to the PNC and everybody involved with regards to that. I believe they've raised a lot of money on that day that'll go back into the school. Secondly, St. George Anglican Church, they turned 150 over the weekend, and I attended that service. They are a great organisation that have helped countless people in the community with their sharing and caring, and here's to another 150 years for them to go as well. Next, Wesley Mission, they did Eagleby Little Day Out. It was a fantastic day at Eagleby State School. The oval was covered, opportunity for organisations within our city like YFS, PCYC, our libraries were there as well to engage in the community. Rotary stood up and also did a free sausage sizzle. We cooked hundreds of sausage, got on the barbecue and flipped some myself as well. So that was another excellent day. 2 more to go. PNG Day. The PNG Federation Queensland had their 50th Independence Day down at Bill Norris on the weekend. What a crowd. We would have had at least 5,000 plus people down there. Parking was insane. But a big thank you to that organisation and the local people, and for my community for being patient while that traffic was on the roads. again. Another one, thank you to Rotary Club of Beenleigh for cooking the sausages at Little Big Day Out and doing the gate on the PNG Day. They're the backbone of our community and a pillar of our society. So thank you again to those organisations, and thank you for everybody for what they do in the community. We certainly are heating up as we end the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. I've got one before I go on the item. I want to congratulate Councillor St Ledger. So he does the mental health, but he also coaches the junior rugby league side, the under-18 Div 2 boys, the Kingfishers. He went back-to-back premiers on the weekend and they won the comp in Golden Point with a try. So big day for him. He won't say anything, but I can show everyone the video if you like later of him carrying on like a pork chop. But congratulations, Councillor St Ledger. I have one congratulations report to consider in today's meeting. I now refer to item 5.1, the Queensland Resilient Australia Awards, Students' Voice in Disaster Resilience. Before we open discussion on the item, do any councillors have a conflict of interest on this item? There being none, we'll present the award. I'm honoured to present this award today on behalf of Logan City Council to Margaretta Burton, Program Leader of the Community and Corporate Resilience Program. We're here to recognise a student voice in disaster resilience, an outstanding program at Flagstone State Community College, the first of its kind in Queensland. With support from LEADER, students got a chance to share what being prepared means to them. Their creative work included over 600 life-sized cutouts, reminding everyone that being ready for disasters is everyone's responsibility. Flagstone has faced floods, bushfires and severe storms. With thousands of people moving there, it's important that we spread this message. This program does just that, helping students pass on information about staying safe to their families and to their neighbours. The program is based on research by LEADER and was adapted from a Victorian bushfire safety model to fit Queensland's needs. I'd like to thank our partners, the Queensland Reconstruction Authority, Get Ready Queensland and Suncorp. And a special thank you to Principal Julie Strong, the teachers and especially the students at Flagstone State Community College. Also a massive shout out to Councillor for Division 11, Councillor Natalie Wilcox, Chief Superintendent Mel Adams, Acting Superintendent for QPS, Mark Thompson, and our local disaster management group, Mark Thompson's QFES. Congratulations to everyone involved. You made Logan proud and set a great example for other community-led resilience. The project will now be considered for the National Resilient Australia Awards, recognising all the great work being done here in Logan. It's now my pleasure to present this award to Margaretta Burton on behalf of Council. Once I've done that, if I can grab Councillor Wilcox up as well for a photo. Thank you. The report motion is now displayed on the screen. Do we have a mover for today's report? I'm guessing it will be Councillor Wilcox. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Bradley, do any councillors wish to speak to the motion? Oh, sorry. Yep. No, leader's correct spelling. It's got the R's on it. It's just pronounced leader, because that had me when I was reading it. Now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That has been carried unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move to confirmation of minutes of the previous ordinary council meeting I now refer to the minutes of the previous ordinary council meeting. I move that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 13th of August 2025 be confirmed. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Jackson. Councillor Jackson has seconded. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That has been carried unanimous. Councillor Bradley, how do you vote, please?
Abstain.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Russell, you good? Thank you. That has been carried. I now refer to declarations of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors wish to declare any new conflicts of interest against any items on today's agenda, including conflicts which have subsequently arisen from matters discussed at committee? There being none, I now refer to our next item on the agenda. Business arising from the minutes, as we have none. We'll now move into our committees. City Infrastructure Committee. I now refer to the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 9th of September. As chairperson of City Infrastructure, I now will speak to the recommendations. I'm not going to speak to the recommendations, they're pretty standard. Do any councillors wish to speak? There being none, I now move that the recommendations of City Infrastructure Committee on the 9th of September be adopted. Is there a seconder? Councillor St Ledger. Does anyone wish to speak to the motions? There being none, I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That has been carried unanimously. Thank you very much. City Governance Committee. I now refer to the City Governance Committee held on the 9th of September. Councillor Jackson, chairperson of City Governance Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. During the process of preparing the meeting minutes, it was identified that the vote results were inaccurate for two of the rating exemption requests. Item 6.9, rating exemption 1003317-1, and item 6.11, rating exemption 1345917-1-2. Therefore, these items will be addressed first and separated from the bulk adoption. Please also note item 6.15, calendar of meetings for 2026 local government meetings, will also be separated from the bulk adoption due to further amendments.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. I now refer to item 6.9, the confidential report rating exemption. This is confidential under section 254J3C. It is considered necessary to take the discussion of this report into a closed session as the report contains information in relation to a rating concession and council's budget. A proposed resolution to move this matter into a closed session is displayed on the screen. Do any councillors wish to move into confidential? There being none, there is a motion on the screen. Do I have a mover for the motion? When you're ready. It has been moved by Councillor Hall. Do I have a seconder? I will second the motion. I'll now open the floor to vote. All right, does anyone wish to speak to the recommendation? Remind him we're in confidential. We're not in confidential. As no one wishes to speak, I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? Okay. If you're happy, councillors, can we go around the room, please?
Abstain.
Paul.
I abstained for all of these ones, and that was with the reason that I think that we need to work on something in the future rather than speak on each of these individually. Thanks.
For.
Against.
So this is 6.9? Okay. I'm abstaining due to insufficient information and criteria to make a decision.
For.
And I was for, so that's carried. That has been carried. Thank you, councillors. Where's the next motion? I now move to the next item, which is item 6.11. It's a confidential report again. I note that this item is confidential under section 654J3C. It is considered necessary to take the discussion of this report into a closed session as the report contains information in relation to rate, concession and council's budget. A proposed resolution to this matter to move into a closed session is displayed on the screen. Do any councillors wish to move into closed session? Councillor Bradley would like to move into the closed session. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wilcox. All those in favour? Can we go around the room, please?
For.
Against?
4.
For.
For.
Against.
Against.
4.
4. 4.
And I was for. Carried. That's carried. Thank you. We'll now move into a confidential session. session. And the live stream has recommenced. You good? So, councillors, there's a motion now displayed on the screen. Is there a mover for this motion? Councillor Hall has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bradley, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Can we go around the room, please, councillors?
For.
Against.
I wish to abstain with a reason, please. As I did in the committee, I choose to abstain, which I acknowledge will count towards the count as a no. I wish to reiterate my reason, which is that on principle, I prefer not to commit public funds to an ongoing exemption pending a policy review.
Against?
Against.
For. Against.
Against.
For. For.
And I was against. So that has lost, so we've got to, excuse me, we're going to put up an alternate recommendation, which will come up in a second. Can we please have a read? And if somebody is willing to move that, could we have a mover? It's moved by Councillor St. Ledger. Do I have a seconder whenever you're ready? I'll second it. So it's been moved. St. Ledger, seconded by myself. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Super popular vote, that one. Can we go around the room, please?
Against.
Against.
Abstain.
For. Against. I'd like to abstain with reason. My reason is there are a lot of hard-working people. There are a lot of single mothers out there working, and we don't grant them any rate exemption. There are a lot of businesses out there working hard, and we don't grant them a rate exemption. I believe it needs to be fair across the board.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Councillor Jeremiah.
Against.
Stemp.
Against.
Wilcox.
Against.
Murphy.
I'd like to abstain with a reason.
Of course.
This is against the council recommendation, even though I do understand why this recommendation has been put forward.
Thank you, and I was for. So this is lost. So we'll put up an alternate recommendation. And when councillors are ready and had a read, if someone would like to move the recommendation, it's moved by Councillor Lane, seconded by Councillor Stemp. Now we'll move to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. So can we please go around the room?
Against.
For.
Abstain.
Yeah, I abstain. I would have liked to have seen a discount.
For. Abstain for a reason. I believe it should be fair across the board, and I don't believe it's any fairer to provide a rating exemption for this organisation and not for single people who are working and working class people who are working as well. Against.
For.
Against.
Abstain for the same reason.
I'm against, so that has been lost. So we haven't come to a decision out of the three recommendations. Like, as the chair, I don't see the choice other to defer this.
No further options.
Well, that gives us time to work on further options. I don't know what the options would be because we've tried every single one of them, but. We cannot
Through
we can't go
the
back.
chair. Through the chair, can this application be waited until after the policy review? Is there a possibility that we could have a motion like that?
I think it'd just be that after that just would reapply, wouldn't it?
You could ask for a further report to come back past policy review.
Which would be deferring it to after that. I think deferring is the only option because we need to make a decision. We're paid to make one. So let's if everyone's happy, do we have to move motion for that? Yeah. Do you mean to type it? I'm a wizard. So there is a motion up on the board. I'm happy to move the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bradley. All those in favour, please raise your hand.
Sorry, question. The discussion before that was written was that it was for a post-policy review.
Yeah, it'll come to a governance committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll still
We
come.
don't have a date for that review?
I don't.
It depends on when the policy is actually adopted. If you wanted to be specific, we could say after the policy, a new policy has been adopted by council, if you'd like to be that specific. but it's implied, I suppose, based on,
I just hate for the group to think that it's coming to the next City Governance Committee, that's all.
it's definitely not doing that.
Vote on that just then.
So we did vote that, so could you please go around the room and tell me how you voted?
For?
I didn't vote, Chair, because
Yeah.
I actually had a question to ask of the motion.
How do you vote, Councillor Lane, now? You don't. So you're abstaining then? Councillor Russell?
For, but I tend to agree with Councillor Lane.
For.
For.
Abstain, already casted my vote.
For.
I'm abstaining because I don't understand what it's going to achieve by deferring it.
For.
For.
4, thank you, it's been carried. I now refer to item 6.15, calendar of meetings for 2026 local government elections. Councillor Jackson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I note that item 6.15 has been separated from the bulk adoption to capture an amendment to the timing of the 2026 Special Budget Committee meetings and the timing to the Special Budget Committee meeting requested to be held on 12th of November 2025 following Ordinary Council.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Do any councillors have any questions to that? Yeah, of course you can. I'm still going to read this out, and you can, when I finish, you can put your hand up if you have a question. Once you've had a read, if there is a mover, could you please move? Councillor Bradley has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Murphy. All those who in favour, please raise your hand. Can we please go around the room?
For.
Against?
I don't feel strongly about this one, so for.
So that you weren't in the room, but you can vote now because it's still up on the board. It's the calendar of meetings.
For.
For.
Remembrance Day is important, so 4.
For.
I'm abstaining because there's no mention of the meeting that was at the end of November, which I'm assuming has been moved to the 12th, but it's not mentioned, so I'm abstaining.
Against?
There is, it's clause 4, Councillor Steele.
For.
Sorry, Councillor Wilcox, I missed yours.
Against?
And I'm for, that has been carried. Now we'll move to the remainder of the City Governance Committee recommendations. Councillor Jackson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I'll now speak to the remainder of the recommendations. Last Tuesday, the City Governance Committee met to consider 16 reports. Among the items considered were updates from both Underwood Innovation Lab and Greenovate, with the latter including a recommendation for the appointment of a new director. The committee also received the CEO Performance Agreement for 25-26, following the completion of the CEO's annual performance review. A new approach to the transactional customer satisfaction and Logan Listens surveys was considered, aiming to deliver more timely and actionable insights for Council's service delivery and strategic planning. A confidential report on the organisational arrangements was also discussed. The committee reviewed the monthly financial performance report for July 25, which showed an operating surplus of $8.93 million. The local infrastructure program for September was also presented, which included upgrades for footpaths, parks, street platforms, speed platforms and community facilities across several divisions. Further, the committee reviewed the quarterly investment report for June 2025, confirming that Council's investments remain compliant and are outperforming benchmark rates. 6 rating exemption requests were reviewed, and the Auditor General's second interim audit report for July 2025 was also presented, with Council continuing to strengthen its procurement practices in response to audit recommendations. Lastly, the calendar of meetings for 2026 local government meetings was discussed, along with an amendment to the Special Budget Committee in November of this year.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Do any councillors wish to speak? There being no further speakers, Councillor Jackson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Governance Committee meeting held on 9th of September 2025, with the exceptions of items 6.9, 6.11 and 6.15 be adopted.
Councillor Jackson has moved the motion. Is there a seconder? Councillor St Ledger. I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour? Thank you, councillors. That has been carried unanimously. Do any councillors wish to record their names as against or having abstained on any particular items within the committee recommendations? Councillor Bradley.
Against 6.1 and 6.3, please.
Councillor Stemp.
Abstained against 6.4.
Councillor Jeremiah.
Against 6.16.
Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to the City and Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee. I now refer to that committee held on the 10th of September 2025. Councillor Stemp, the chairperson of City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Acting Mayor. I'll now speak to the recommendations. We had 3 reports this round. 6.1 provided us with an update by the Department of Transport and Main Roads on the Logan and Gold Coast Faster Rail project. We're advised that more information about the project will be shared with the community in the lead up to the community consultation periods in each station location. 6.2, the Legacy Roadmap Emerging Sports Report sought endorsements to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Griffith University to investigate the feasibility of new sporting infrastructure at their Logan campus. It also sought endorsement for council to strategically look at further partnerships and to deliver more diverse sporting infrastructure in a more cost-effective and timely manner, with the aim of being part of the Brisbane 2032 Olympics and Paralympic Games. 6.3 Economic Development Annual Report 2025 provide an overview of the key economic development activities delivered by the Economic Development and City Planning Branch in the 2024-25 financial year. A few of the highlights included attraction of $193.51 million of capital expenditure invested in the city, creating a total of 930 new and retained jobs. In addition to the team is managing an extra 80 investment leads and opportunities. Small business advice and mentorship provided to 93 individuals starting their businesses, with 72 small businesses, not-for-profit organisations requiring specialist advice. And the Mayor's Local Job and Skills Task Force placed 250 job seekers, including 63 youth in employment, and delivered 6 employment expos. Thank you, Mr Acting Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stemp. Do any councillors wish to speak? There being none, Councillor Stemp, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Acting Mayor. I now move the recommendations of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 10th of September be adopted.
Councillor Stemp has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor St Ledger. Now I open the floor to vote. All those in favour? That has been carried with the exception of Councillor Bradley. Councillor Bradley, how do you vote?
Abstain.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. We will now move on to City Lifestyle Committee. I now refer to the City Lifestyle Committee held on the 10th of September. Oh, does any council wish to record their names against any items from the City Planning? Thank you, there being none. I now move back to City Lifestyle Committee from the 10th of September. Councillor Hall, Chairperson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor, or should I say Acting Mayor. At last week's City Lifestyle meeting, councillors received 2 reports. The first was the Sports and Community Infrastructure 2024-2025 Annual Report and Quarter 4, the 1st of April to the 30th of June, followed by Parks Capital Works Program 2024 to 2025 EOFI Report and 2025 to 2026 Future Works Schedule. Both reports showcased a year in review of the incredible projects delivered throughout the city. The various projects range from clubhouses, sports fields, lighting, to new and refurbished playgrounds, fencing and community centres. All the good stuff, all the stuff we love to see in our community. It was evident councillors were very pleased with the projects delivered in 2024 to 2025 by both branches. I would like to thank my fellow councillors and staff for working together so well to continually deliver these top quality facilities and upgrades for Logan sporting clubs across our community. We can't do it without you guys. There is most definitely much anticipation to see what exciting projects will be delivered across this in a new financial year. Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 10th of September be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Do any councillors wish to speak? There being none. He's already moved it. Councillor Hall has moved the motion. Do anyone wish to second the motion? Councillor Jackson, I'll open the floor to vote. That has been carried with the exception of Councillor Bradley. Please, how do you vote?
Abstain.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. That has been carried. Thank you, Councillor Hall. Any items any councillors wish to record their names against? There being none, thank you. We now move on to the council reports. We have no council reports to consider. We move on to late reports. We have no late reports to consider. We now move on to petitions. Do any councillors have a petition they'd like to present? There being none, thank you. We now will move to GB. GB will start today. Councillor Heremiah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to talk about some good stuff and some bad stuff. Now, we'll start off with the good stuff. Yesterday at 7:20 a.m, I got a text message from a local resident called Frank. And Frank sent me some images that were, quite frankly, a bit concerning. And the reason is I'm glad someone got the joke. And what happened is that in Chambers Flat, there's a main thoroughfare that a lot of locals use called Grey Gum Road. And a lot of the time we see some illegal dumping on this road, and it's a concern, and council cleans up that illegal dumping and tries to even sometimes prosecute the people who did that illegal dumping to reduce the likelihood of it happening in the future. What Frank let me know about was something a bit different. Not only was it illegal dumping, but it was illegal dumping right in the middle of the road in the middle of the night, which was a real safety concern. And Frank and his family, as good Chambers Flat residents do, rolled up his sleeves and actually moved the illegal dumping out of the road so cars were a lot safer. Now, he let me know at 7:20 a.m. I responded within a minute, letting him know that this would be escalated urgently. And the great team here at council went out and cleaned up that illegal dumping by 11 a.m. They were deployed. So that's a great win. And another win that's happening just north of that was in Logan Reserve. A couple of months ago, I did a mobile office in Logan Reserve near the Stoneleigh Reserve Estate. And what a few families told me at the Stoneleigh Estate was that they have awesome parks all around them that council conditioned developers to build, but they had a concern with a walkway to one of their local parks. There was a big open stormwater drain that kids, quite frankly, were very, very close to falling in along Logan Reserve Road. Now, they let me know. I went back to council, secured funding to improve the situation with that stormwater drain and install a safety fence. And just last month, that project was completed. So those kids can walk to the awesome parks north of Stoneleigh Reserve Estate in a lot safer way. A recent development that I've noticed in my mobile offices is that a lot of residents are seriously concerned about the new news when it comes to flood mapping in our city. And what these residents have told me is that they want to see the flood mapping in our city accomplish two things. Number one, provide an accurate flood overlay within our city to make sure that they can see the potential impact of a flood on their property. And the second test they want to see is that when that flood overlay is applied to their property, the restrictions on their land rights are based on reducing externalities to their neighbours and are also reasonable. Those are the two tests that they want to see. And going forward with the flood mapping changes in the new town plan, those will be the tests that I apply when I vote in this chamber. I really encourage residents to put in some submissions. Submissions are open until end of October. And right before the end of submissions, I'm doing a mobile office blitz all around my electorate to make sure that residents can have their say and ask any questions about putting in a submission. We're going to start Sunday, the 26th of October, start at 9 a.m. at Walkabout Park in Chambers Flat. We're then going to jump over to Rossmore Road and end the day in the afternoon in Parkridge South at Jingaree Park. So I encourage all residents to come along, have your say, and I'll see you there. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Heremiah. Councillor Stemp. Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you very much. Today I talk of genuine concern for our residents, many of whom are feeling confused, frustrated, powerless and unheard due to the recent release of flood mapping. But first I want to begin by acknowledging our officers. I know they worked hard and with good intent, and what's happened on social media isn't okay. So I hope that our teams and our staff are safe. So please remember, if you are as frustrated as you are as a resident, the person on the other end is someone's wife, husband, mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, and friend, and they don't deserve the harassment that was recently witnessed. But I also want to acknowledge our residents, people who simply want clarity, fairness, and the ability to improve their own properties without the burden of uncertainty and the impact it's having on our community. Now, originally in August 23, I voted in favour of the original TLPI, but even then I asked questions on the extent of the flood mapping and I asked about the insurance messaging. But what I voted for was to start the process. In TLPI 2, I abstained with a reason because of the introduction of the 36-hour isolation, having an unintended consequence on residents wanting to improve their land, and then finding out through this instrument that they couldn't. I think as a council, we have been too cautious mapping a 1 in 2,000 or a PMF. State government doesn't mandate this. It encourages us to design a fit-for-purpose approach, one that reflects local conditions and community needs. And I believe we need to remove the 1 in 2,000 and the PMF from the flood mapping. We know that the flood maps aren't going to go away, but we must acknowledge that these maps represent a perceived risk, not necessarily an actual one. And perceived risk in the presence of any colour on a flood map leads residents to assume water ingress. And without a clear explanation leads to fear, frustration, and again more confusion. And what about consistency? Each council along our rivers have apparently done or are doing a different flood study using different methodologies. So I ask, which one is right? Why are the priority development areas assessed under the Economic Development Act 2012 framework, meaning that local flood mapping and local council overlays do not apply? Why do they have different rules? Do we all need to move into PDAs so that we avoid flood overlays and council approvals and can build what we want? Let's be honest, the yellow on the flood maps representing low risk covers a lot of properties, and many residents probably don't even know that they're affected because, to my understanding, letters haven't been sent to these properties, and letters, to my understanding, haven't gone to the properties marked with purple for overland flow. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but unless these properties also had a moderate or a high risk area or were impacted by isolation risk, they weren't sent a letter. I believe we need to remove the low and moderate risk overlays or the 1 in 2,000 and the PMF because they are based on extreme hypotheticals. A what if, a maybe, sometime in the future, who knows when, possibly when Noah's Ark arrives. What happens to properties that now can't be improved? Homes that may eventually, when they get to their end of life, need to be demolished simply because of a perceived risk. Because they are flood mapped as high risk or high flow, yet some have never had water ingress into their properties. We've asked for submissions, but what's the proposed outcome? What are we hoping to achieve? How many submissions do we need to receive to make a meaningful change to flood mapping? 500, 1,000, 5,000? What's the answer? How many people need to share their story about insurance price hikes, not being able to improve their homes now or in the future, not being able to sell their homes? How much evidence do residents need to provide to support their concerns? And I've had many conversations with residents in the past week to make sure that they feel that they have been heard. This isn't just about lines or colours on a map. It's about people, it's about their homes, and it's about a reasonable expectation of a true reflection and an accurate account of flood mapping through their experiences and their evidence. We owe it to our residents to get this right, because when it comes to flood risk, there's no room for guesswork and no excuse for confusion. I'm calling on the organisation to initiate a review of our flood mapping so that we have a planning scheme and flood mapping that is reasonable, acceptable, people can understand, and people feel their concerns have been heard by their submissions. We need to bring clarity, consistency, and compassion to this process for all. Thanks.
Did you want to respond to that?
I just suppose two things. One is we're in a submission process, so our moment at the moment is for consultation. So we're in a consultation process. What council ought to also ensure is that all councillors retain an open and persuadable mind ahead of a future council decision, because the actual council decision will occur after the consultation process, and it's important that councillors retain that open and persuaded mind up to that point.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Bradley.
Chair, look, that follows on from what I wanted to ask you, Mr. CEO. Has a path forward been discussed with the Mayor, with the senior staff of the organisation and yourself?
Through you, Chair, a range of people have asked questions about how the data is created, how the mapping is created, how the data could be presented.
Mm-hmm.
There has been no decisions yet. The decision will be following the consultation period, because we expect that there'll be more ideas, more requests for information coming from the community as part of this. So all of that conversation will occur after the 31st.
Okay, because publicly there's already been solutions have been spoken about, so I'm just curious.
You finished, Councillor Bradley? Councillor Lane?
Thanks very much, Acting Mayor. I've got two things today. The first one is a big shout out to Shania from Level 5. We had Groves Christian College come to council last week, and my councillor colleagues, advisors and staff did a wonderful job of guiding them through the process of local government, and the kids really had a lot of fun. So to Shania and the team that put this together, I just want to say a huge thank you for your support, and it'll be lovely to see other schools come here in the future and actually do the same tour or similar tour. We are doing a review, and there was a couple of glitches where we want to sort of iron it out, but for the most part, those kids and the teachers really enjoyed the day. They enjoyed engaging with all of the councillors that attended, and they had a lot of fun. So big kudos to them. The second thing is that I've been out and about. I do my regular mobile offices each week, and I also do the monthly ones. And the Logan Planning Scheme is on people's lips, but in a slightly different way. Residents in my area are seeing a lot of infill, and their concerns are actually around noise issues. So where they had a 3-bedder or 2-bedder house next to them, and the block has been subdivided, and they have, you know, mega footprints next to them, we don't have that push for noise abatement measures on those properties, is my understanding. And I really have encouraged them to start making submissions as much as possible to the planning scheme to try and get those improvements made. When someone can hear someone flush the next door neighbour's dunny, you know, you can tune that out. But when you actually have people living their lives and being loud and happy, that tends to increase upon your enjoyment and your amenities. So just those sorts of things are the ones that are coming up within the local community. I just wanted to do a shout out to Wendy and Gordon and a couple of others that have actually come up and had those chats, particularly about the noise issues. So thanks, Acting Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lane, Councillor Russell, Councillor St Ledger, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Mayor. I'd like to ask the City Solicitor and the Legal Services team of Logan City Council a couple of questions. Would that be okay?
You okay with that, CEO?
Sure.
If you could come up, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been following my social media, as we all like to do every now and then, and I've noticed that there tends to be a bit of confusion from residents about certain terms that we use within council and certain descriptors that we have. One of these terms is a statutory obligation. I'd like the City Solicitor to explain for the residents at home what is a statutory obligation.
Through you, Mr. Chair, a statutory obligation in simple terms is a legal requirement to do something. It basically, they are in pieces of legislation, and whether that's local government, state or Commonwealth, there are particular things that it says that must be done, and that's referred to commonly as a statutory obligation. For councillors, that's really important because one of your responsibilities as a councillor is to ensure that the local government complies with all of its statutory obligations.
Thank you. So we have several statutory obligations that we need to comply with, and sometimes when we pass things through, that's because we need to meet those statutory obligations. What happens to a council if it doesn't meet its statutory obligations or it doesn't uphold its statutory obligations?
Through you, Mr Chair, for individual councillors, there is a requirement in both the Local Government Act and your Code of Conduct for councillors in Queensland that you comply with all statutory obligations. So certainly there would be a basis to bring a complaint about you for misconduct. It can, depending on the matter, it can lead to far more serious consequences. For a council, it also has an obligation to comply with all of its legal obligations. So not complying opens up the ability for somebody to challenge a decision that council has made in relation to a particular matter.
Could it not complying with a statutory obligation potentially lead to administration or the council being stood down?
Through you, Mr Chair, technically, if in a particular circumstance, it certainly could.
So I think it's important for the residents at home to understand we need to work within a rule system. When we make decisions, we need those decisions to act within that rule system. And not doing so can lead to consequences not only to individual councillors, but the council cohort and the council itself, which will have a greater impact to residents at home. So what we try and do is when we do pass something, we try and do it in such a way as best to act for our community, but also to comply with what we've been asked to do by the other levels of government. And not meeting that means you arrive at a very bad situation, which is not good for anyone, not the council, not the council cohort, not the community either. Another thing is residents are usually quite often confused what it means when a councillor abstains. Some residents feel that when a councillor abstains, they're basically sitting on the fence or they're not voting on a matter, but that's not the case when we abstain within our council cohort. Could you please explain what it means when we abstain?
Through you, Mr Chair, as you would have seen today, when council makes a decision on something, individually councillors must vote for, against or abstain in relation to that matter. When a councillor abstains from voting, which they are entitled to do, their vote is recorded in the negative. So there's three options for voting: for, against or abstain.
So if the council was to abstain on the matter, they're basically voting against the motion that's presented. There's no real way to sit on the fence on something except to probably not be present for the vote at all. So if you were to be absent for the vote, that would be the only way that you could really technically abstain from a vote. Is that right?
Through you, Mr Chair, I think the important issue which you allude to is that if a councillor abstains, their vote is recorded in the negative. So when the votes are tallied to determine whether or not there's a particular outcome, a vote to abstain is calculated as a vote in the negative, so against a matter.
So a councillor such as myself and many of the other in the cohort would rarely abstain. We usually only abstain, for me anyway, is if I feel there's not sufficient enough information for me to decide on the matter, and then I will abstain, which basically moves it in the negative or against the motion that's being carried. That's usually the reason why someone would abstain, or also if they believe that what they're voting on, it shouldn't be something that they should be voting on at all. I have a personal feeling that certain things which are statutory obligations, councillors shouldn't be voting on, but sometimes we are forced to. Sometimes we have to make a decision and arrive somewhere. And that can be, my premise as to why I may abstain on something. Thank you very much for further clarifying some of these things. I think it'll be great help for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. I wasn't going to say anything, but I'll finish with my GB. So, being a councillor is a high-pressure job, and I can see the pressure that people are under right now, including me. So my face isn't red because I'm blood pressure, it's because I hate ties, to be clear on that. But councillors, there's too much emphasis on who voted what. How did you vote? Who voted yes? Who voted no? Councillors voted yes to adopt state legislation. councils didn't vote to wreck people's properties. There's not a single councillor I've ever met, and other councils as well, that would ever do that. We voted on state legislation. I was against it, but it probably would have got overturned if it went to the state. But the one thing that the council's done here, and I've seen that, is the way that we've all stuck together. So it'd be pretty easy for us to turn on each other and turn on the building. We haven't done that. You know, and people say we get paid too much. You're kidding. We don't get paid that much money if you work out the hourly rate. The building's under pressure, but the building's reacted. I could see by the way that the building's reacted that we are going to work on the best solution that we can to be with the legislation. But to talk amongst the community on who voted what is unfair. It's not acceptable. We are all trying to fix it, because every single person here can leave tomorrow and get a much easier and higher paying job. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for sticking together through the thick and thin, and thank you to the building for reacting the way you have. Submissions matter, and you've done the right thing, and you've listened to the community, and we're going to prove that. So that's all I wanted to end with. I'd like to end the meeting. That concludes our agenda for today's meeting. I now declare the meeting closed at 10.
Point of order.
Point of order.
We think you missed a report, the late report. It's in the back.
There's no late report.
It got postponed. Okay, my
Thank you.
apologies, sorry.
It's all right. You had me going there, Councillor Woodcock. Thank you for that. I'll close the meeting at 11:29, and hope everyone has a great day.